On July 20, 2026, thousands of young Indians marched on their nation's parliament. But they weren't carrying the banners of traditional political opposition. They were waving flags bearing a giant cockroach. This crowd had one specific, non-negotiable demand: the immediate resignation of India's Union Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan. The protest line itself looked like a glitch in reality. Extremely online Gen Z internet trolls were marching shoulder to shoulder with a 60-year-old climate activist on an indefinite hunger strike. No party bosses organized this rally. A deeply sarcastic internet meme had mutated in a matter of weeks into a highly coordinated national crisis. To understand how a joke mobilized a country, look at the economic reality waiting for young Indians. The country produces 8 million graduates every single year, yet the unemployment rate for those graduates sits at a staggering 29.1%. The one lifeline out of that system is the national examination apparatus, which determines medical college admissions and government jobs. So when the 2026 NEET exams suffered massive paper leaks, followed by glaring scoring irregularities in the CBSE boards, public trust completely fractured. The breaking point came in May. During an open hearing about fake law degrees, the Chief Justice of India's Supreme Court equated unemployed youth struggling to find a place in a profession to, quote, parasites and cockroaches. The remark was intended to dismiss a specific group of fraudulent applicants. Instead, a generation of highly educated, deeply frustrated, and chronically online youth heard an elite institution saying the quiet part out loud, and they decided to own it. Abhijit Dipke, a 30-year-old unemployed public relations graduate, read the Chief Justice's comments and posted a simple question on social media: what if all cockroaches come together? Within 24 hours, he launched the satirical Cockroach Janta Party. Dipke treated the joke with total professional rigor. He used AI tools like ChatGPT and Claude to rapidly generate a party logo, a polished visual identity, and a sarcastic manifesto for a demographic he labeled lazy and unemployed. This chart shows how fast the satire caught fire. In just 3 days, the Cockroach Janta Party amassed 11.1 million followers on Instagram. To put that in perspective, the ruling BJP, heavily touted as the world's largest political party, has 8.8 million. The movement exploded because it offered exactly what the traditional opposition parties hadn't: a unified, highly legible voice for a demographic exhausted by religious divides and economic stagnation. But a meme only matters if it leaves the screen. In early June, the Cockroach Janta Party pivoted to physical organizing, issuing a formal demand that Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan step down over the exam leaks. The call to action worked. Massive crowds of students poured into the streets of major cities like Bengaluru, Pune, and Lucknow, holding up traffic and confronting local authorities. Then they took the fight to the capital. On June 20th, the organization launched an indefinite sit-in at Jantar Mantar, New Delhi's historic ground zero for public demonstration. The protest's legitimacy cemented when Sonam Wangchuk arrived. Wangchuk is a highly respected education reformer and climate activist. When he walked into the Gen Z encampment, it signaled to the rest of the country that this was a serious political front. On June 28th, Wangchuk, along with several student leaders, escalated the stakes. They initiated an indefinite hunger strike, demanding systemic exam reforms and accountability from the top. This hybrid strategy created an incredibly difficult problem for the state. You had the ruthless, viral mockery of Gen Z internet culture, combined with the severe moral weight of traditional Gandhian civil disobedience. The government responded to this by remaining entirely silent, hoping the brutal summer heat would break the protesters' resolve. By mid-July, with temperatures pushing past 40 degrees Celsius and the government stubbornly silent on firing Pradhan, the organizers realized sitting still was no longer enough. They needed to force the issue. They announced the Sansad Chalo, a direct physical march from the Jantar Mantar encampment to the doors of the Indian Parliament. Logistically, it was a remarkable feat. The march brought together anxious students, established trade union members, and farmers, all marching under the banner of a satirical cockroach. A massive cohort of young people, facing a broken job market and a compromised education system, looked at the institutions running their country and decided they had absolutely nothing left to lose. Even if Dharmendra Pradhan holds on to his job, the Cockroach Janta Party has already secured a significant tactical victory. They proved that a leaderless demographic could self-organize into a highly effective pressure group. Psychologically, they achieved something even rarer. They took a degrading insult hurled by the highest court in the land, stripped it of its venom, and wore it as a badge of honor to unite millions of people. For decades, politicians have relied on India's youth being too fractured or apathetic to challenge the status quo. Now, those young citizens have built a concrete blueprint showing exactly how to turn a viral internet joke into undeniable real-world power.